It's easier to find support as a new teacher than you might think, especially in psychology. Randy in particular has already talked about teachers of psychology in secondary schools. There are other organizations as well. And if you can join these organizations, that's great. Ask your department chair for the funds to join the organization. I've always learned not to assume that somebody's going to say no. It's $50 a year. That's not nothing, and you could probably scratch together the money to pay for it. It's certainly worth many times that, but if your department will pay for it, that's even better. We've talked about finding local people that you can make face-to-face contact with for resources and support and answers to questions. That's important too. But the internet's opened up a lot. When Randy and I started teaching, there were no internet resources, and it's grown and grown and grown. And sometimes accelerated in positive ways because of COVID, when people were forced to interact on the internet where they weren't forced to before. So now you can find whole conferences that occur online that you can register for minimal amounts of money, teaching conferences, and have a chance to interact with other people. And TOPS will provide you with some links to these organizations so that you can learn about them and become involved if you want to. And granted, it's not great to sit in front of a computer terminal for an entire day on Saturday or whatever, but it certainly can be encouraging and be a source of ideas and a source of support and a source of contacts as you exchange contact information with others that you can talk to, especially local people, later on. There are national conferences, and they're wonderful. If you ever get a chance to attend, do so. In fact, that's what got me started on doing things outside of my own classroom. I asked my district for support to go to an APA, American Psychological Association convention in the early 1990s, and I was astonished when they agreed to provide airfare and hotel for me. I was responsible for the rest. And I met people, and it opened my eyes in ways that continue to change my life to this day. It was great. But you don't have to go to a national conference. You can go to a regional conference. They're often much more accessible and much less expensive to attend. There are several states that have state or regional organizations for high school psychology teachers that get together. We were talking last night about one in Utah that's been going on for almost 30 years now, that every year people gather in Salt Lake City and they bring in speakers. It's cheap. I mean, it costs $30, $40. You get a lunch along with it. You're probably close enough that you don't need a hotel room. Find those resources. There are also discussion groups. Facebook hosts several of them. And I would urge you to exercise just a note of caution. They can be valuable, but these are not juried in any way. People can come on and they can say pretty much whatever they want. And you can get some really, really good advice there, and you can get some really, really bad advice there. As you become more experienced, you'll become more capable of telling the good from the bad, picking and choosing the wonderful ideas and kind of discarding or chuckling at the rest of them. So I would start with the resources like TOPS, where you know you're going to get quality information. The wonderful things about TOPS is it's under the control of high school teachers. It's not other people telling high school teachers how they should teach. It's a group of elected high school teachers who gather in Washington, D.C. regularly to plan the program, decide what resources they're going to work on, how they're going to involve more people. And you can count on everything that they put out. So there's a lot out there. Take advantage of it, but do exercise just a little bit of caution when it comes to the things that are not well vetted in advance.
Just a little bit more along those lines. There are currently some workshops out there that cater specifically to new teachers, and they are funded by various foundations. And as Charlie was saying, if you become a psychology detective and go online and find out if there's a conference like this nearby. And some of them will even pay to get you there. There's money to send new teachers in particular from the foundation to support attendance at these conferences. And I think one of the things, if you can get to one of these, you're much more likely to transition from saying, I'm a social studies teacher, I'm a history teacher who teaches psychology. your identity, you start to build that identity as a psychology teacher, which is, I think, something that Charlie and I hope occurs. And if you find that taking place, another resource to consider would be joining the Society for Teaching Psychology. And this is also within the APA. It's also referred to as Division 2 within APA. They have a lot of divisions, dozens of them, but this is the one for teaching. And it's also very reasonably priced, and you get a quarterly journal that you can get it online, of course, too, that is talking about the cutting edge elements of teaching psychology by the people who are living it. And that's another great way to get connected and to get to conferences like APA or NCSS is a very good one for psychology teachers as well. Charlie and I have presented there many times, and we've made a lot of great friendships with the folks who are at NCSS, and we look forward to getting there again.